Well, good morning.
Good morning, because we have been posting in the morning. So good morning to everyone that is tuning in to this show.
Whether it be via YouTube, via Apple Podcasts, via Spotify, via iHeartRadio,
Amazon, however you listen to it.
Welcome everyone to the Chris and Nish podcast, where it's our life,
our love,
at our leisure. Chris, what are we talking about today?
I think I forgot the topic. How did I say it? It's ministry, life, balance, work balance, all of that jazz.
Today, y'all, we're talking about how we balance. Well, not really
Is
balancing.
Is there a such thing as balance?
Yeah, I was just about to see you in my thoughts.
I think I heard.
Hold on, let me complete the topic so you know what we're talking about.
Oh, okay.
Because you about to go in.
I did.
We're talking about how to find how to find a healthy relationship.
Yeah. And
healthy prioritization.
Yeah.
Healthy. I'm trying not to use balance, but
is this strictly for just like married couples, or is this like single people?
This is for people who got life.
Because it's the thing though. Paul said, and we talked about this recently, how single folk ought to be devoted to the things of God. That's what the Bible says.
Okay. What does that got to do with
married
being
selfish? Because like when it comes to a balance, like married couples have to really focus on a healthy balance or juggling different things, because now you're not, as he was saying in the scriptures, it's not just devotion to God. I have to have.
But if I'm single and I'm always in ministry and I'm not doing anything else, that's unhealthy.
Yeah, I get you. So I mean,
this goes to anybody, because people are burnt out and single too.
That's true.
I mean,
I'm just saying.
Don't be doing that to the single folks.
I'm not doing that.
Acting like y'all should always be at church.
No,
and that ain't
I'm not saying that.
Or work.
Please. Well, some should, so they take their mind off that other. How about that? Anyway.
So we're basically talking about finding a healthy balance between life/ministry, because they kind of coincides together, and just taking care of yourself, like life balance. Yeah.
So I think I heard. I probably shouldn't say his name. It was a pastor, because I don't think I'm going to quote it wrong.
Oh, okay.
But he kind of said to this effect that there's no such thing as a balance.
Like even.
Yeah. He said it's more so like your priorities. Like,
right.
In this season, what do you need to be?
What's important?
Devoted
not important, but.
Or a priority.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, you just need to know what's priority in this season, and you focus on that. It's more so not trying to balance the two. You know, okay, this is priority. This is what I'm going to focus on. Let me go after this. Do that. And then in this next season, maybe it's time for this. But the thing is, when it comes to family, every season.
Yeah, that don't change.
So that goes without saying.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do I do to kind of help make sure I have time for family, but make sure I have time for ministry, so forth and so on. And the reason why we say ministry, because we're heavily involved in ministry. We serve in various capacities when it comes to ministry. So that's why that's a significant part in our schedule, because we have to find balance, because that's what we do.
Yeah. You
might find yourself at the same thing, or it may be entrepreneurship, maybe school, so forth and so on. But we gotta find a healthy balance, and I think one of those things that help me with that is a schedule. I've learned in the past month with really adhering to a schedule has helped.
Yeah.
Like, I know, okay, I got this at this time, this at this time. That means if I'm doing that, my hours to work on this is this time. That's what I have. After that, I'm doing this.
But even with scheduling, I think scheduling really won't help you if you still don't know how to prioritize, though.
Oh, yeah.
Because somebody can take a schedule and stuff it full of, like, things that, you know what I mean? So you kind of got to have an understanding of what's feasible.
What's priority?
What's priority?
That's what I'm saying.
What's feasible for me to do? Am I biting off more than I can chew? Or, you know what I'm saying? You have to, you really just got to. You have to self-evaluate when it comes to that kind of stuff, because people feel like just because you can, you should. And that's not true. That is not true. Like, it's like, there's a lot of things I could do right now.
Sometimes I just want to be.
Right.
I used to say I'm just gonna do today.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do.
Yeah.
And what's that? I will do whatever I want to do.
Right.
That's what I'm gonna do. I will
Right.
do whatever I want to do.
Yeah.
And I really think it boils to priorities
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to that. Even if you have a schedule, okay, what's priority today?
Right.
You know what I mean? And following that, whatever. But then we got to be careful of making sure our priorities are healthy, because we may not prioritize the right things at the right time.
Yeah,
know?
and I think there are times though that you have to. I think if you prioritize right in those moments where you do have to sacrifice, it doesn't feel as harsh. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, like, I'll give you an example. Let's say you had to go out of town for like a week or whatever, and say, but prior to that, there was no intentional time that was spent. I'm going to feel that harder versus if you knew this was coming.
Yeah,
we're intentionally spending time before. Then that way, when you're gone, I've already planned something.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm supposed to be working on something right now while you're gone.
Yeah.
I think there are seasons that require more work,
So
but you have to be proactive.
that's what I was about to say.
With what's coming
Planning.
in and after too, because it may be still okay. We're gonna work real
Yeah,
hard
yeah.
these 2 months, but then after that, we're gonna play and go and have fun just as much the 2 months after that. You know
I
what I'm saying?
think it's planning. Man of God spoke this to us and taught us this, that proper planning prevents poor performance. And so I think
You made that up, babe.
no, I did not.
Yeah, you
The
did.
pastor gave me that. I'm not taking credit for that.
Last time.
I did not lie.
I think this is when you said it. I assumed that you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, it didn't come from me.
Proper planning prevents poor
Poor
performance.
yeah. So with that, you have to properly plan.
Yeah.
So if you, like you said, if you do have something that's going to be priority, if I plan properly, then I'm able to make certain adjustments and do certain things if something come up
Yeah.
or whatever, because I plan for this.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we're reactive instead of being proactive.
I hate it.
So then,
I've always
therefore, when
despised that.
something does come
Yeah.
up, we trying to like juggle and move and be frantic and scattered because
Causing this, like, it should be pressure and stress. Like, y'all, there's some people who thrive off of that.
yeah, some people love
But
that.
me, I retreat. I quit. I'm like, all right, quit. Bye.
Yeah.
Like, if we could have planned for it, now there are some things that happen that you just gonna have some self control and be like, this happened. There's nothing we can do. God is with us. We can get through it. Versus, I knew this was coming. I just didn't prepare, and so because of that, I'm putting stress on myself and others. That Tanisha Smith will not be a part of. Sorry.
Yeah, I prefer planning out stuff and laying that out, but I'm also can adapt to the last minute
Chaos.
I can, and I can get it done. I don't prefer it, but
It's just I don't like the feeling of stress, and I don't like seeing people stressed. And then you get stressed people working together.
Yeah.
Attitudes.
See, I'm the type of person, like, if it's like that, I walk in, okay, what can we do? Like, let's get it done. Put this here, do this here, do that, let's do this, let's do that, and let's get it done. Because at this point, when we get down to that place, complaining or just upset
like,
about, this is too much, is not going to get the job done.
Right.
We can talk about that after. Let's debrief after the fact. Right now, how can we make this happen?
Right.
And so now that I'm here, let's work this out, put this here, do this here, so that we can get the job done. You know what I mean? And so how do we even get to this? I don't know.
We're talking about being proactive about when you prioritize, make sure you plan the right way. And I don't. Well, no, not everybody's like that. So let me not say that, but I will say there are not a lot of people in my life now that are proactive.
Ooh, that's good.
Like, I only can name, and this is sad, I only can name 1 or 2 people that I know are proactive in what they do. That I can learn from. I can glean from.
So would you consider yourself a proactive person?
No. Like, when somebody was to ask me, like, she pretty proactive with everything she do? No, absolutely not. Yeah. I would love to be. I have been before. I have seen the fruit of that before in my life. Yeah. But I'm not somebody that's consistently doing it. Yeah. And so what I do is, what do they call it? I forget what they call it, but what I do is if I cannot be proactive, I won't do it at all. Versus somebody else will be like, no, I'm still doing it.
See, and that's
Like,
what
I
we
won't do
different,
it.
and that's what sometimes we bump heads.
Yeah.
Because I be like, let's just do it. She like, no, well, it's like
It
we
feels,
here now.
It feels like this. It feels like that.
But I'm like this. We here now, and I don't know. Maybe it's just a given, something God has given me. When I see a mess, I can still see the end result. Even though it's chaotic in this moment, I still know there's an end result. I can see it, and I just need to just get in there and let's figure it out. I do like I'm a problem solver. So I'm like,
Maybe that's why
I'm like, all right, this is chaotic right now, but like, what can we do to make this happen?
Yeah, it's just, I think the reason why I'm like that is because I've been put in situations several times where, and I wasn't a culprit, but I was just in the equation of things.
Yeah.
Where I saw the result of not doing that, and it I don't want to say it damaged people. Now you did
from there. You want to?
Yeah, it's almost like trauma.
Yeah.
It's almost like I'm not doing it to myself.
Gotcha.
Like if I did not proactively plan something, then that's my fault. Then that means we can start planning now if you'd like, and then we can do it in the future. But like, not saying like, well, let's just do it. Let's just make it up on a whim. It's like,
yeah,
no.
So, and I know we kind of went off, but back to why we talking about planning?
Because with priority and with balance, sometimes it affects your balance and prioritization
when you don't plan.
When you don't plan.
Got you. Okay, because I'm like, we off to something else. But one of the things I wanted to hone in on is that one of the things that cause you to be unbalanced is trying to be all things to all people. In a sense of what I mean by that is like people pleasing. And say yes all the time.
Just because you can.
Just because you can doesn't mean
you should.
Because sometimes, like I said, I don't want to answer the phone. I can. But that don't mean I should.
Don't mean you should.
I want to watch the Cosby Show right now and not talk to you. Is that criminal? I don't.
Is it criminal?
Because I want to see Rudy and laugh at Rudy right now. I don't want to talk to you, but sometimes we feel like there's a level of obligation, guilt. Like, I gotta do this because I'm chilling right now. You deserve. Let me free somebody. You deserve your chill time.
Yeah, but I think also, this is getting real deep, real quick, but it's the truth. Oftentimes when we find ourselves struggling to say no, it's because we identify our worth with what we give people. And if I can't give you this, that means you're going to care less about me. And I know that sounds deep, but that's where you mentally go. You like, dang, if I say no, I'm going to hurt them. And then they're going to think I'm not a good friend, or I'm not a good person, or I'm not a good coworker, or I'm not dependent. And then because of that, my value goes down.
Well, that's rooted in rejection.
Right.
So then you're saying, that's basically what you're saying. If I don't do this, they're gonna reject me. Yeah. So let me do this so I can be accepted.
Right.
So that's something
I don't want them to misunderstand or misjudge, or then I'll be different in their eyes or whatever.
Yeah, you gotta get past that. Yeah. Because you
break covenant with that.
Because then your life is gonna be linked and like
it's gonna be trash.
It's gonna revolve around what say
people want.
Yes to what everybody else want. Like, you know what I mean? And you're never gonna break out and do what you need to do for the sake of whatever God is calling you to do. And so it's like the balance. One of the things I know in our marriage early on, we struggled big time with balance when it came to ministry.
Balance and boundaries.
Yeah, boundaries when it came to ministry and it came to home, because I am a type of person that, like, it's go time, it's go. Like, and I think part of that too, because I was freshly married, but also freshly like really saved and really giving my life to like Christ, like
all that
really,
was happening.
All that happened, like this newfound
and being called to ministry.
Yeah, experience of being called to ministry, experience with the presence of God, wanting to learn, wanting to grow, and things like that. I was giving more attention and time to that versus to my marriage. So in that caused a lot of
and it was also, I think, just an element of people pleasing in that as well.
Yeah, of course. Definitely.
That's what made it worse.
Yeah,
because as as somebody new called to the ministry, you're a new husband, you learning new things of the faith, and then still struggling with that.
Yeah.
And then it's like me as a person, and it's kind of the same place. I mean, not accepting the call part, but just being a wife and then feeling not seen, feeling unheard, feeling overlooked, and all that. It just caused a whole bunch of
So when you're engaging in ministry, business, you have to, that goes back to the planning. You have to be planned and be intentional with saying whether it's spending time with your wife or your husband or spending time with just yourself and or family, getting that time that you need to recoup or whatever, just say get your bearings back so that you can get back in the game, do what you need to do because it's necessary.
Right.
Because what happens is when you don't take those times out for yourself and all you doing is pleasing people, just doing things, there's a level of burnout that comes.
Yeah.
Or if said person, I'm going deep, but I heard this. If said person or thing pivots from you, you're broken. You're broken.
Man,
I mean, they make one pivot,
like, oh, y'all don't need you no more.
You out of there because you have invested so much.
Yeah.
And then now, without that, you have nothing.
And you don't know who you are.
Because you found your time in it.
People pleasing, you find your identity in pleasing, literally, satisfying somebody else's, what they feel like you should be doing for them. And sometimes people don't even do it. It's just that you teach them how to treat you. Yeah.
So, one of the things, I just had this question come up that you can ask yourself, do that or watch it. Ask yourself this question. Maybe you find yourself there's no balance there. You find yourself doing a whole bunch. If someone was to strip that thing from you, they was to take it from you, who are you?
What would you do? Who are you and what would you do?
Yeah, what would you do? And if you feel a sense of like, oh my God, I don't know what I would do, that's a problem. And then you need to reevaluate your time and your investment in that particular thing. Not saying just totally quit, but reevaluate, okay, what is my motive behind this thing?
Right.
Why am I actually, what are my intentions? Why am I actually doing this?
Right.
Okay, now let me evaluate, okay, what can I do to kind of balance this thing out to where I'm not so vested in that and I vested in myself or whatever.
And why is it that I want to? You have to be, man, you got to ask yourself the hard question. Don't be in denial. Like, you have to ask yourself the questions and don't be afraid of the answers. If it is unhealthy, then okay, then that's a step towards getting better. Like, okay, so let's stop doing that because it's a beautiful thing to serve. Yes. Let me not, like, you know what I'm saying, there, especially like you said, like for people who are not obligated to take care of one another being married or who don't have kids and stuff like that. That's a beautiful thing to be able to serve God's people. But there is a healthy way of doing it. Like, I know you touched on it this past weekend when he had to preach somewhere. My pastor touched on it. You have to love God and then love yourself first.
Yeah, for sure.
And loving yourself is also understanding my worth. It's understanding my value. It's making sure that I take time out for myself to know who I am and to make sure that I'm, grooming myself and that I'm growing myself outside of doing it for other people. Like, you have to have time to do that. Like, if you don't, and I was telling my sister the other day, I was talking to her about how it's a healing and becoming and evolving is a self-paced thing, and there's no black and white. There's no God, this is A to Z on how you become. It's like, no, everybody goes at their certain pace. And it's based upon their experience and their context of their life. I said, and nobody gets to tell you how to do that besides the Lord. And those steps could look different. Yeah. I said, so like, for instance, if you're healing from trauma and there's certain people that trigger you and you're trying to heal from that. If somebody feels like you should be over there by now and we should be able to hang out like that, that's not for them to say. Oh yeah. Like, you give yourself, you pace, even if that means we can talk on the phone for 2 minutes. We can do that.
Boundary. That's boundary.
That's a healthy boundary. That's saying, yes, I want to heal, but I'm going to heal at the pace of the Lord. Like, I'm going to heal the way the Lord is guiding me to do that. Like, don't feel pressure because people feel like this is where you should be by now. It's like, no.
Nah, because then, again, well, Pop has been talking about being self-aware.
Yeah.
But that's being self-aware when you set those boundaries.
Yeah.
Saying this is only so much I can take. This is what I can do. But I just really...
There are ways to get around, to do things right without like doing like the cutoff thing or the...
Yeah, you don't want to throw people away or throw things
like,
away.
Well,
but
I'm doing things and I'm busy, so I ain't got no time.
Nah, you evaluate it and you take the proper steps.
Yeah.
First, you really got to have a conversation with somebody, too. Because a lot of times people just like to walk away from stuff, don't have no conversation. You disappear. We like, where you
no
at?
Closing.
And I'm not just talking about ministry. I'm just talking about in life, period. People just cut you off. You're like, what I do? Like, you didn't even have you didn't give me a chance to even, like, try to, like, make it right. You know what I mean? So, but I really think that we have to evaluate why are we doing what we're doing.
Yes.
What's the motive behind this? And am I really, if this, because I remember I had a scare one time where something happened, something was being taken away. A person was being possibly taken away from me. And I think I invested so much into this person and not invested a lot into myself. And so when it was potentially this person walking away, I was like my world just came in like, okay, what are you gonna do now? And I was like, I don't know, I'm gonna lose it because I didn't take time to say, okay, Chris, who are you?
Yeah.
What else do you have to give? Like, you have something to say. You have this. You have that God has called you to this. God wants you to do this. And so when that happened, not that I created a judgment or in a vow, but I said, "Oh Lord, I don't ever want this to happen." It was a sobering moment.
The Lord spoke to you and said, "Do you see how you feel?"
I was like, "Oh no, I don't want this to ever happen again." Oh no, okay, cool. So what do I need to do to help? Never get in this situation again. And so it was like self-discovery. Yeah. It was really like, okay, Lord, this is what. And what happened was, this happened prior to the pandemic, and so in the pandemic was where the Lord started to reveal and show me who I was, because it was no more church. Yeah. It was no more none of that. Yeah. You were touching people, praying with folk, none of that. That's over right now. It's just you and him, and you going to work and coming home. Yeah. That's it. And so that helped me with self-discovery and knowing who I am. Yes. And so, it's like when you really evaluate that thing and ask the why, you find out your why, your motive, then you're able to take the proper steps to create that balance that you need.
And with that, and let me say this too. Ooh, I know we talk about this a lot, but I think we talk about it a lot because it ain't happening. Yeah. People have to have a healthy prayer life.
Correct.
When you partner your prayer life with your whatever it is, ministry, relationships, when when that is like, when it's a foundational thing, it's almost, of course, prayer is a supernatural thing, right? So you'll find yourself doing things that you just be like, hey, where did that come from? And it's because those things are developed in prayer. They're like literal things that are happening for you, that the Lord is doing for you, that you may not be able to see like in that moment, but then when the situation comes and you need it, you like, where did that come from? Or dang, I said no and I didn't feel bad, or I wasn't invited and I didn't feel bad, or they didn't ask me to do it and I didn't feel bad, or I wasn't included and I didn't feel bad. And that's just the fruit that's coming from your prayer life. And I think a lot of people sometimes, man, I don't know if we made it cliche, or I don't know if we just downplayed it a lot, but it's such a huge, it's so important to have a healthy prayer life, because it just does something like, I don't know, it kind of like just, it keeps you sober minded, like it keeps you grounded and sober minded in the things that you're doing. But sometimes you're not even consciously, like, you're not even aware that you're doing it. You're just doing it because you have a healthy, there's an open line of communication between you and the Lord, that he's really like showing you what to do. Yeah. And how to be and how to treat others and how to treat yourself. So a lot of times that stuff just comes from prayer. So, just knowing how to like discern, like, am I supposed to be doing this? Yep. Am I supposed to take this on? Because there are going to be seasons where you may have to take on more work. Yep. Or more assignments, or You know what I'm saying? But it's just for a season. Like, you have to do it in order to produce a thing. But you have to learn when you're supposed to do that and when you're not. Because timing is everything.
And that comes through prayer.
Yes.
So asking God, acknowledge him in all of your ways.
Yeah.
And leaning on him, and he directs your path, right? So if we don't lean into our own understanding, right? When we acknowledge him, he shows us, he gives us direction and insight and revelation where we are to go. And so in checking balance and seeing like what should be priority, you acknowledge him and he shows you what's supposed to be priority. And so everybody ain't gonna like it, but that's okay.
Right.
And if they walk, but that's the thing, if they walk away during that time, maybe they wasn't meant to be there.
Right.
Because if you can't respect that this is what the Lord is leading me to do, then I don't know if we were supposed to be connected in the first place. You should champion that. Oh man, you heard God. This is what God said. Okay, cool. Let's work with it. You know what I mean? So I think prayer is definitely key when you're trying to evaluate and find balance in which direction God is leading you towards, so that it's healthy. He wants us to be healthy. He wants us to prosper, even as your soul prosper. He wants you to prosper in everything that you're doing. But again, it takes prayer, balance, but in the balance, it should be prayer. To find out the balance, it should be prayer.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, our time is up.
We gotta go. But I feel like we had a good conversation.
Yeah, I did.
I hope this helped y'all. If this helped y'all, let us know. If there's any areas that you're struggling with, let us know in the comments. We're always praying for y'all because we love y'all. We thank y'all for always supporting however you do support. But don't forget to like this video and subscribe. We never ask y'all to do that because
share,
but we don't.
Like,
we know that
subscribe.
we don't ask y'all to do that.
Yeah.
But if you love our content, it will really help us in the algorithm. It does help us to grow awareness with our community, how to grow our community. When you like and you subscribe, so do that.
Correct.
But again, we thank you for tuning in to Chris and Nish.
Where it's our life,
our love,
and our leisure. See y'all next time. Peace.